Hello and welcome back to the UFO News of the Week, where the truth might actually be out there. And apparently our missiles are just bouncing off it. Yep, that's a real story that happened this week, so you better buckle up. So the biggest headline from the September the 9th hearing: a US drone fired a Hellfire missile at a glowing orb off the coast of Yemen last October. The missile hits, or at least it seems to, and the orb just shrugs it off like, nice try, human. So either that's advanced tech, or the world's most expensive game of Pong. Either way, it's the clip that everybody's calling the best UFO clip ever. And honestly, I kind of agree. If your weapons don't actually work, mainly, do we need alien-proof insurance now? Two questions though. One, if it was advanced tech, why are we shooting at it? I mean, if it's not ours, why would you shoot something that just shrugs off Hellfire missiles? Shouldn't we not be pissing them off? And if it's aliens, again, have you not seen like every alien movie ever made? This is a bad idea. Now, several veterans testified under oath this week. Jeffrey Nutricelli, Dylan Boland, Alexandra Wiggins, plus journalist George Knapp. They described craft that changed shape, defied physics, and those mysterious glowing orbs again.
Later that night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright, fast-moving object over the ocean. I responded to the incident. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. I heard my friends screaming, "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Moments later, I heard them say that it had shot off and was gone. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed.
Boland even said his career tanked after he reported a UAP at Langley Air Force Base back in 2012.
Because of my direct knowledge of the reality of certain legacy UAP programs, my professional career was deliberately obstructed, and I have endured sustained reprisals from government agencies for over a decade. Claiming
he was blacklisted. So in short, see a UFO, lose your job. Which, let's be honest, makes the government's "we want to report all this stuff" poster feel just a little less encouraging. George Knapp actually dropped a bombshell in this hearing too. Well, almost. He cited Soviet documents in 1982 where UFOs supposedly hovered over a nuclear base and somehow triggered nuclear weapon codes.
There was an incident in October of 1982 over at ICBM base where UFOs popped up, was observed over this base where the missiles are pointed at us, United States. These UFOs perform incredible maneuvers. They split apart, they fuse back together, they'd appear and disappear, and right at the end of this 4-hour period, the launch control codes for the ICBMs lit up. Something entered the correct codes. The missiles were fired up and ready to launch, and they could not shut it down. The Russian officers were panicking. The UFOs they disappeared. The launch control system goes back to normal. Colonel Sokolov and his team came in, took the thing apart, could not figure out what it was. It wasn't a power surge or EMPs or some of the baloney excuses that our country has given for similar events involving our nuclear missiles. They thought it was a message from wherever the UFOs were from. And that's a chilling thing. I mean, we were a couple of seconds away from World War III starting, and the UFOs were responsible.
The missiles were seconds away from being fired before everything shut back down. Imagine explaining that in history class. Kids, the Cold War almost ended not because the US or the USSR, but because extraterrestrials played with the red button. Some headlines are screaming, "Our weapons are useless against UFOs." Look, dramatic? Yes. Accurate? Look, maybe the missile just grazed it. Maybe it wasn't fired properly directly at it. It was going pretty fast. Or maybe these things are tougher than your grandma's fruitcake. Either way, the fact that we don't know is the real story. The hearing wasn't all just shiny videos. Okay, the lawmakers are accusing the Pentagon of holding back footage and info, while ARO, the UAP office, is being called everything from unhelpful to basically useless.
You know, I would put it to you this way. The statement Arrow has made is scientific evidence of extraterrestrials. Scientific evidence requires a scientific control. Extraterrestrial is an entity on another planet. The only way to scientifically prove extraterrestrial is we have to go to that planet, acquire technology, bring it back, and compare it to what we have here.
So you're saying they won't let anything out because, or they won't come forward unless they confirm that unless they go to the planet and confirm where its origin is.
That would be scientific evidence, yes. And by that statement, Arrow found no scientific evidence of extraterrestrials is basically, I don't want to call it a psyop, but a misrepresentation, because we do have things. But making that statement is not technically a lie, it's a misrepresentation of the full truth.
Now, witnesses also demanded stronger whistleblowing protection, which makes sense. If aliens don't take you out, your HR department might. Meanwhile, the Pentagon, yes, the Pentagon again, has logged hundreds of new UAP sightings from credible sources. Most get filed under needs more analysis, which governments speak for. Yeah, we've got no clue. So in recap, we fired a missile at an orb. It didn't care. Whistleblowers say UFOs ruin careers. Soviets almost nuked themselves because of a sighting. And the Pentagon is still in mode, which means basically business as usual on the UFO end. The September 9th hearing did absolutely nothing for disclosure. It's exactly the same thing. When something was teased, the whistleblowers say, oh, there's something I gotta say in a skiff, not in public. There needs to be laws in place to protect whistleblowers so they can say this stuff without having to be in a skiff. Everyday people like me and you deserve to know the truth. We've been lied to since the Roswell crash and earlier. The truth needs to come out. I'll keep tracking it all for you. So hit subscribe, come back next week, because who knows? By then the aliens might have finally showed up. Or at least send us a strong-worded Yelp review. Also, Wednesdays are going to be changing, so I'm doing a weekly UFO news report, and I'm going to do a weekly paranormal news report on Wednesdays. So you're going to get UFOs on Saturday, paranormal on Wednesday. And if you want to, check out some more videos up here that I've made. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe, like, come back for more news.